The liver's main metabolic functions are to regulate the amount of glucose in the blood, convert fats to lipoproteins, which can be used for transport, convert fats to glucose or cholesterol, to manufacture proteins, and to detoxify wastes or foreign substances. The lab values relevant to liver function are often called liver function tests, and they're also often described as LFT. As you can see, there are quite a few of these. In the coming videos, I hope to work through this list, explaining why these types of tests are used. This way we'll understand why they would relate to a specific pathological process, which we can visualize on an ultrasound sonogram. We can use our knowledge of metabolic functions of the liver to figure out if a lab test is relevant to liver disease. So if a disease state caused dysfunction in the regulation of glucose in the blood, or conversion of fat to glucose, that disease could cause hyper or hyperglycemia. And it follows from that that hyper or hyperglycemia in a blood test could suggest that there's some type of severe liver disease. If a disease state caused dysfunction in the conversion of fats to lipoproteins, such as fatty liver disease, that disease could cause an increase in AST or ALT, and we'll discuss those enzymes later on. If a disease state caused dysfunction in the conversion of fats to cholesterol, it could cause an abnormally low level of cholesterol in the blood, and that's because the liver is the principal site of cholesterol synthesis. If a disease state caused dysfunction in the manufacturing of proteins, it could cause a decrease in the amount of albumin or clotting factors being produced, and it follows from that that a decrease in albumin concentration or an increase in the prothrombin time or partial prothrombin time would suggest that there's a disease state. If a disease state caused dysfunction of the liver's detoxification process, it could result in a decrease in the production of urea, and that would present as a decreased blood urea nitrogen. And a secondary possible cause for detoxification dysfunction is an overload of ammonium. And in these cases, you'd see an abnormal increase in blood urea nitrogen as opposed to an abnormal decrease. The waste product following breakdown of hemoglobin in hepatocytes is bilirubin. So if a disease state causes dysfunction of the liver's ability to excrete bilirubin, you'd have an increase in the amount of bilirubin in the blood. And if you took note of the LFTs at the start of the video, you would have noticed that there's 3 types of bilirubin tests. When it comes to liver disease, there is a predominant increase in direct bilirubin, and we'll go into more detail into that, direct versus indirect bilirubin, in a later video. While not specifically having a lab value, I thought you guys might find it interesting to know that if there is a dysfunction of excretion of bile, it could result in steatorrhea and coagulopathy. This is due to bile's function as an intestinal fat emulsifier, allowing for absorption of vitamins such as vitamin K, which is necessary for blood coagulation. That's all from me for now. In the coming videos, we'll be going through what each of the liver function tests are and why they're used to detect liver diseases. Cheers.